Hello, everybody. Welcome. I know we've got a couple minutes left. I just want to jump on real quick so that way the YouTube notifications can go out and also we can see who's out there in the world. So we'll be starting momentarily the broadcast today. Looking forward to the conversation. Good conversation coming up. If you are aware, the SBA had a summit the other week, and we're going to discuss that SBA summit amongst some other things. So, what's up, Xavier? Welcome. What's going on, people? Let us know who you are, where you're from, what your industry is. Use this as your time to shine. Let us know what you got going on out there in the world. How's my mic? How's my sound? We sounding good? Everything's good? While we wait for some folks to jump on. Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate you. Never mind. Love it, love it, love it. Xavier is in the building. Again, let us know the industry that you're in, the city that you're from. Let's make some connections. I was just on today with a podcast guest, and she said she gave some advice. And one of the things was to and try to enjoy some of this stuff, right? I mean, business could be so stressful, but her first thing she said was go out and enjoy yourself. So let's try and have a good time tonight, enjoy ourselves, make some new friends, make some relationships, because that's what it's all about, right? That's what's going to take us further, faster. And if anyone knows me, I like to use those words further, faster. In the meantime, while we're waiting for folks to show up, how many of you guys are suffering because Facebook is down? WhatsApp is down, Instagram is down. How many of y'all are suffering out there? Facebook's down, Instagram's down, WhatsApp's down. How many of you guys are suffering? Huh? How many people are suffering? It's funny because I didn't even notice. I went to go post something, and then I was like, "Why is it not working?" Until someone told me that they were down. So today's conversation is a good one. I know for all the folks that are just tuning in, and if you're watching this on replay, this Thursday we're gonna have a conversation about transportation. So stay tuned for that. That should be a good one. I'm gonna drop the live right now in the chat, just in case you have to run off. Okay. Ready to start watching content. Great info. Virginia just started creating my capability statement. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I love it. Keep it up. Super important. I will tell you though, a lot of people get lost in that capability statement and they spend so much time on it and they forget to do the other things. So just kind of words of wisdom. Don't get lost and drowned out in your capability statement. So I'm just kind of I appreciate the love. Great things. I'm happy you're doing it. We also have some capability statement templates on our website, templatecapestatements.com. I'll drop that in the chat if you want some sample ones to look at. And also, again, we are starting to set our courses a la carte. So we do have a 5-hour course on capability statement that I believe is only like $150. So Maria might find that and drop it in the chat as well. But good stuff. All right, tell us where you're at. Tell us what you're doing. I guess people don't like my title today. Xavier says negative. Doesn't affect me. I'll keep my nose grinding to the stone. Exactly. That's the attitude to have. Philip Evans says not too much. Good stuff. So, interesting enough, we'll jump in while people start to trickle in. Interesting enough, let me just drop this in here. Share my screen. Okay. So today's topic, actually, I want to discuss the SBA had this small business virtual summit. How many people saw it? Um, and they announced that Jennifer Lopez was going to be headlining this small business virtual summit. So that's what we're talking about today. Is in fact they had this virtual summit. It was a few weeks back, and so when I looked at it, while I admire and I respect Jennifer Lopez, that's great. I just didn't feel like she identified with most of us small businesses and our struggles and our journeys. And I just wished and hoped that the SBA would have brought different speakers on board. And so when and seeing that and looking back at the new SBA director, uh, Guzman, bringing Jennifer Lopez. While I do respect that it was um, Hispanic Heritage Month, I just felt like we could have brought on some higher quality speakers and people to actually serve and benefit those, not just to really rah rah rah. I think we've got enough rah 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 going on out here, and we need substantive things that we can actually do that are actionable that we can implement in our business. If you feel different, let me know. If you feel like you thought Jennifer Lopez was a good pick, let me know. That's just the way I feel about it. Again, I talk to hundreds of small business all the time, and what they want are substance. They don't want to be actually just aroused. They want substance. And funny thing is, there's actually a word that they use in her biography, which I thought was really interesting. I'm going to drop it in here. What's up, Kazar? And they said that she's submitted in history as a global icon and the ultimate multi-hyphenate. Does anybody know what that word means? Hyphenate? Does anybody know what that means? Multi-hyphenate? I know we got some SAT guys in here. Who's SAT people? Hi, SAT. Come on. I know we got some SAT people in here. All right. So that word, when they're describing a person, I'm going to pull up the definition. Okay. That word actually stands for a person, especially a celebrity with several professions or skills. That's the definition, right? A celebrity with several professions or skills. Not many people that I know that I teach or talk to are multi hyphenates or celebrity status. We are small business owners that are uh, growing. We have a technical skill and we are looking to develop that into a business, hire employees, and grow out our companies. And so I just felt as though that was they could have done a better job. And while the SBA does a lot of great things out there, I just felt like they could have done a better job. And so what I decided was, okay, let me share what would have been my picks if I was the person in charge of running the SBA, who I would have felt like would have been more applicable because these people actually have skill sets that translate into skill sets that we need to build our business, to grow our business, to sustain things like HR, things like raising money and capital. And so they started off essentially given the same set of the toolbox that we had to work from. And I think that most of us would actually learn and be able to benefit from these speakers as opposed to the ones they had on there. And again, I know Jennifer Lopez, I'm not really picking on her, but she happened to be the person that they highlighted. So that's why we brought her name up. There were some other speakers that they highlighted as well, which included Mark Cuban. Um, but there's some other things that I think that a lot of us out here, and I appreciate, by the way, I appreciate everyone for coming on today. There's a lot of us out here, and there's a lot of programs out here that can benefit and serve small businesses, and we are not aware of them. And I don't think that they get enough press. I don't think they get enough publicity. But the folks at the highest levels, the people at the highest levels of business, understand these programs. They understand how to leverage these programs and how to make them work. And so, again, I appreciate the folks that came on today to learn and understand this because this is really important and vital to not just you yourself as an individual, but the small business community as a whole. And I want folks to really take time, pay attention, even if you've got to run, come back in and pick this up from where we left off, because these are programs that don't get a lot of publicity. They don't get a lot of press. No one talks about them, but the highest people at the highest levels are actually benefiting from the programs that the SBA puts out and sponsors. So I want to talk about that today, and that's really the basis of our conversation. So, um, the first person that I think would have served us well in terms of a speaker for the SBA week. Let me see. Da, da, da. Okay, is a man from Chobani Yogurt. And I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't want to get it wrong. But this guy right here, Hamdi Ulukaya. Does anybody know who he is? Has anybody ever heard of this particular guy? I'm sure all of us eat Chobani yogurt, but as if you don't know who he is, I write a story about him. If you start subscribe to my newsletter, you'll see I write a story about him. And what he did was he's the founder and creator of Chobani yogurt. And so we all probably know the Chobani brand. We've seen the Chobani brand out there. But what you might not know is how they actually got started. And we talk about this in one of my in one of my newsletters that goes out to my subscribers. We talk about the guy from Chobani Yogurt. And the reason why I think he'd be a great pick is because he actually started Chobani Yogurt using an SBA loan. And I think that so many people ask me, Eric, how do I get started? Right? What types of programs out there? I would have loved to hear from him to discuss the SBA loan that he got to buy the manufacturing facility to first start making Chobani yogurt and what that process looked like. And so he would have been one of my top picks as a speaker for the SBA. So that's number one. This guy right here, Peter Thiel. How many people know Peter Thiel? Welcome, Clarence. Welcome, AS. Welcome, Kenny. Welcome, Kazar. How many people know Peter Thiel? Let me switch to a bigger screen. Anybody ever heard of Peter Thiel? No? Yes? No? Okay. So Peter Thiel is the founder of a company called Palantir Technologies. Let me show you. Palantir Technologies. All right. So Peter Thiel is the founder of a company called Palantir Technologies. You've probably never heard of Palantir Technologies, but if you do some research on Palantir and you find out what they're doing, they're actually they are, how do I say this in a nice way? They do a lot of the spying on people for the government on behalf of our U.S. government, and they do AI stuff, but really they're known for the people who are responsible for like tracking down, say, Osama bin Laden and doing that type of grabbing that kind of data. And it says modeling precision. Um, and so they grab that kind of data and they pass that data along to our US government so that they can do things like track down terrorists and things like that, of that sort. But the reason why I say Peter Thiel and I bring his name up is because Palantir Technologies was actually created and funded by the US government. So the government, one of the government's own programs, went on to put Palantir Technologies into business. And so this particular program went on to put Palantir into business. And ultimately, and I don't remember which agency it was, but they were originally sponsored by the government. And so, wouldn't you like to hear from an entrepreneur whose business was actually formulated out of the government itself and then went on to become a multi-billion-dollar business? Let's go in fact, you can look at it now and let's see if we can find. Some people say, what does Palantir do? See, a public American software company specialized in big data analytics. Original clients were federal agencies of USIC. It since has expanded its customer base to serve state and local governments as well as private companies. But again, that was its original customers. And now Palantir has over 2,500 employees and are a multi-billion-dollar company. And again, it was created and founded out of the government. So these are the kind of people that I'm like, what? These are the folks that I want to hear from because these a lot of you out there listening have that same ability, but because we don't know, we may not be aware of these programs, or we're not aware of how they work, or no one's teaching it to us. We fall short oftentimes, and because we run out of capital and cash is king, we have to then put our crazy wild ideas to the back burner because they're underfinanced and we don't have anyone to actually support us. Does that make sense? Is any like if anybody likes what I'm saying, like can you say something, comment, give me some feedback on here, make me feel I'm like talking to the air. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. I know I'm a little dark in the background. Looks like my lighting is kind of off today. But if you like what we're talking about, let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Let me know who's out here. I see Marie, I see Kenny, AS, Clarence, Ty. And again, I know this isn't like how to register in SAM or how to get your duns, but I think this is super important. And again, I want to talk to the folks out there because Zara says nope, he don't like it. I want to talk to the folks out there who want to go to a higher level mindset. And so those are people I'm looking for. This isn't for everyone out here. This is for the people that actually are looking to really go beyond the traditional. All right, how to get a business. We talk about that stuff, so much content before that I want to talk about things that you've probably never heard of and that everyone is not going to tell you because everyone basically doesn't really know this stuff. So they can't tell you things that they don't know. But I want to look for the people who wants their minds elevated. And so that way we could go ahead and share. So my man Ty says, just came in, missed the topic. The topic is today is 10 business owners that I believe should have been featured in the SBA Small Business Week. So again, the SBA had a small business summit. And while it was okay, to me, they really missed the opportunity to share with small businesses people that were really making a difference and impacting the not only the government but also came from the same places that we came from. That they originally were funded by the government, they received government assistance to help them, they received SBA loans. Those are the programs that we all want to know how to do. And I think that showcasing Jennifer Lopez and a multi-hyphenate, whatever that means, which is a professional celebrity, has professional skills. The word celebrity doesn't really identify with the majority of the people watching and my audience. So rather than show people that were entrepreneurs, and again, I'm talking about entrepreneurs that specifically benefited from government programs. I'm not just picking random entrepreneurs because like they had Damon Dash on there, because I want people who actually service the US government and also were recipients of government funds to build their businesses, because that's what I think people need to hear in order to help grow our base of small businesses. And so for me, I just think that they missed the boat. And I'm sharing what I thought or who I thought would be a better pick or companies that I feel like would be better to showcase for SBA Week. So so I went over, the first one was the guy from Chobani Yogurt. We talked about Peter Thiel from Palantir Technologies. And then someone that we probably all know. And again, I'm picking the people that, again, the highlighted areas that folks know. And then I think they should have really, to me personally, I think they should have brought on SpaceX and Elon Musk. And I really think that they should have showcased them. Hold on. I really think that bringing someone on from SpaceX or Tesla would have done us a lot of service, because why? If you don't know the story, if you've never read the book on Elon Musk, he was one of the PayPal Mafia, and as one of the founding members of PayPal, what's up, Jerome? Welcome, welcome, welcome. As one of the founding members of PayPal, and if you've never heard of PayPal Mafia, let me take you back a couple steps. I love teaching people this. So if you've never heard of PayPal Mafia, let's start there and educate some folks out here what the PayPal Mafia is. The PayPal Mafia is the group of guys who were owners, executives, and co-founders of PayPal, that they went on to found multiple billions of dollars in companies. Elon Musk went on to found Tesla and SpaceX. You got Reid Hoffman found LinkedIn. Jeremy went to find Yelp. This guy, three of them went on for YouTube. And then you got Peter Thiel of Palantir, Kiva, Yelp, Slide, G9, and Square. And so that's the PayPal Mafia. If you notice, I picked Elon Musk and Peter Thiel because why? Both of them that came out of PayPal that was bought out. I think Elon cashed out like 180 million. He put that back into businesses. Peter Thiel, who, if you've heard about him in the news, if you look at the news, he actually, for something that's not so great, he set up the meeting between Trump and Mark Zuckerberg to talk about less regulations, but that's not the conversation today. But nevertheless, they were able to take and leverage the government, both Elon and Peter Thiel, to build their next multi-billion-dollar businesses. And so for me, I'm very interested in hearing what that looked like, even if it's, again, not the owner, maybe it's an executive or someone from the company that tells us, what they did and how they did it. So going back to the story of Elon Musk and SpaceX, they actually were on the brink of bankruptcy. And some people say the government actually bailed them out from going bankruptcy by giving them huge contracts with the government to start flying rockets and sending satellites to space. And so that story alone, it shows you the power of what if you've got a government-backed contract and the United States government behind you, of what is possible and what you can do. And so that's why I picked my first three people, I picked really high-profile individuals that we can all associate with. Probably we didn't know their stories, but you can associate with them. So now I'm going to get into some other people that you may not know of, that's actually probably smaller in scale, but the companies, you just don't know what they do and how it impacts government contracting. So let's talk here. I'm going to show you something. Before we do that, let me educate some people out here on a couple of the government programs that exist that you may have never heard about. There's a program out here, and it's called SBIC. Anybody ever heard of SBIC? Anybody ever heard of SBIC? Anyone? I'm going to wait. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. Anyone heard of SBIC? By the way, make sure that you give us a like, share this information. Thanks, Philip. Appreciate you. Thanks, MJ. Appreciate you. Anybody heard SBIC? SBIC, SBIC. Nope. Tanya says no. Anyone? No. That's what I figured. No. No. Kenny, no. All right. Read what it says on the screen. SBIC, as a licensed private equity fund manager, the SBA will lend you low-cost government-backed capital to invest in U.S. small businesses. You guys see that? Are you reading that? So the next group of people I'm going to talk about, they're coming off this list right here. The SBIC program, right? It's the U.S. SBA's Financial Assistance Program, small business investment company, privately owned and managed investment funds that's licensed, regulated by the SBA. They use their capital plus funds borrowed with the SBA guarantee to make equity and debt investments in qualifying small businesses. And they go on, they go on. They talk about it. By the way, let's talk about SBICs. Must invest in no more than 49% of employees overseas, less than 20 million of tangible net worth, less than 6 million of after-tax income. Anybody here meets those criteria? You've got less than $19 million net worth and less than 6.5 million of after-tax net income, average over previous 2 years. Probably all of us. Probably all of us. Now, check this out. This is why I'm here, because hold on. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to go back to the big screen. What's fascinating to me, right? What's fascinating to me is that everyone here who's bid a government contract, you read and submit these proposals. Anybody submit big proposals? Anybody submit these huge proposals for government? Anybody gets 180-page RFQs? Anybody? Yeah. Kenny says, yep. Anybody? I want to talk to all the people who submit these huge RFQs, who've had to respond in the government, and it's two freaking binders of stuff. Anybody out here ever submitted one of those before? Yes. Yes. Anybody identify me? Even if you submitted a response that was 20 pages or 15 pages, nope. Okay. Clarence hasn't been bidding yet. So most of the time when you're responding, unless it's just a request for quote, and you've got to respond with a written proposal, right? They can be volumes, hundreds of pages. Even when I do my source of sought notices response, sometimes they're 8 pages, 10 pages, 12 pages at most. Check this out. So here on the SBIC pre-screening process, you're going to submit an executive summary that's roughly 3 to 5 pages long and should include a narrative of and a track record section. 3 to 5 pages. That's it. 3 to 5 pages. That's it. Now, let me show you why the SBIC is one of the coolest things that they got going on. And while we cannot particularly qualify for to do this, we can work with entities that receive these funds. They can actually help to support and build up our businesses. So that's what we're going to talk about in a little bit is the organizations that are receiving funds from the government that can then take this capital and redeploy it back into small businesses like ourselves. And that's what we're going to get into the next 7 people on the list. Let's bring it up and put it back on the big screen. So minimum capital requirement, statutory minimum is $5 million. And then it goes into some licensing and things like that. It tells you where to submit it, blah, blah, blah. And then let's go over to this next page because I think this is super, super critical for folks. I'm going to put it on the big screen. And no, Kazar, it's not international SBA. That's no. Small, that's not international SBA. It stands for small business. Where is it at? Where's the title? Small Business Investment Corporation. Small Business Investment. Here we go. Small Business Investment Company is an SBIC. So it's the SBIC program. But let's just read this. In fact, it says the SBIC is one of the largest funds in the United States and can invest up to $4 billion annually. It issues debt to venture capitalists, private equity funds, and other vehicles that invest in America's small but scaling businesses. Over the last 5 years, they've channeled more than $21 billion of capital to 6,000 companies spanning a variety of industries. Now that you know this information, don't you want to hear from these people? Like, okay, let me ask you guys this. Now that you know, right? I'm going to drop this in here. All right, now that you know this, don't you want to hear from the people that do this kind of stuff? Like, how many people out there watching? There's 50 people out there watching. How many people out here want to hear from folks that get this government money to then invest in small? Don't you want to know who they are, what their names are, who should you be talking to, where to go? Like, to me, I think that I really value and respect everyone's time, and I want to say, because of again, they've got PTACs, SBDCs, MBDAs, all of these people out here that are already teaching the basic stuff, and including myself, right? So we have a lot of stuff on the basics. So getting back to my man's question, do you have videos on the basic content? Absolutely, we do. We have a whole on our channel. On my channel, we have a whole playlist on getting started. So like, I'll just go ahead and answer my man question real quick. Like literally on my channel, we have an entire playlist on how to get started. So we already cover that stuff in places. And it's not that I don't want to talk about it, but it's just if you do your research, you'll find it and we have it already covered. Let me just pull it up on the screen so my man can see real quick. But like here, we already have on our channel all these playlists of where to start. So we've got that covered. But when the government, the SBA in particular, has a program that is one of the largest funds of funds in the United States, those are the people that I want to talk to. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you some of the people that are on that list that would surprise you. Like, you probably don't even know. Hold on. Ooh, I didn't bring it here. I don't have it here. We're going to show you some of the folks that are on that list that I think those are the people that I would have rather seen to come on and show us how do we get this money? Like how many people say, how do you get to the bag, right? Anybody want to know how to get to the bag? How to get to the bag? Somebody drop that in there. How to get to the bag? That's what we want to do. Because that to me is Tam, what's going on? Welcome. Tam, today we're showing people how to get to the bag. Essentially, the SBA's got these programs out there that is helping and benefiting folks, but we just don't know about them. And so I want to kind of showcase and highlight some of these programs that are not commonly being shared amongst folks out here. And I want you to know who they are and what they do so that you can go out and start entertaining some of these people. So this is the nature of the program. Now, let's look at this list and let me give you a little history on the program. All right, put up on a big screen. SBIC program. Launched in 1985, has deployed more than 67 billion of capital, made more than 166,000 investments in small businesses, licensed more than 2,100 funds. Look at who's on that list. Look at who's on that list. Apple, FedEx, Intel, Tesla, Costco, Whole Foods, Staples, Amgen. If all these people on that list, why are we not talking about them? If all these people are on this list, all the people that are household names, why is no one talking about this? Why is no one telling you guys this stuff? How come we think that all these people made it on their own, that they bootstraps, they came up from the ground up? How come nobody is telling you this? Why is it that we have this program that is sponsored by the U.S. federal government, that's the SBA, and our tax dollars, and we're making billionaires more billions, and they not telling nobody? This should not be a secret. I should not be the first one educating y'all on this. I shouldn't be the one to have to do this. None of this stuff is new. This has been happening 1958, and no one talk about. Ask your P-Tech about this and see if they'll tell you. Ask SBDC, see if they'll tell you. Ask MBDA, see if they'll tell you. Make sure y'all give me a like on this video, please. Now, how does the program work? Listen, this program is, I'm telling you, this is gangster. This is some real, U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of Investment and Innovation. So now, how does the program work? What are they doing? Check this out. I'm going to show y'all. Make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you liking what you're hearing. If you like what you're hearing, if you look, you telling me if your person is talking to you about SAM registration, this ain't SAM registration day. Sorry. This is not SAM registration day. This is where the billionaires play. That's why there's only a few people watching. That's why we don't have 75 people watching, because this is the level where the billionaires are playing at. So I'm just, I don't care if you take this information and share it with whoever you want to, because people don't even know, they don't understand this. They don't know how to do it. They don't even know this stuff exists. So make sure you hit the like button on YouTube, hit the like button. All right, listen, the U.S. government, SBIC, right? The investors put up $1, right? SBA puts up $2, and now they got $3 to invest. Come on, man. Come on, man. They put up 1, SBA puts up 2, now they got 3. Come, who don't like that math? And y'all think that they giving y'all something about a stimulus package. Y'all think they giving y'all something about stimulus and about PPP? These people really know what's happening. And the folks that understand this, and if you can figure this thing out, you can set yourself up for a lot of success in the future. If you can figure this thing out, you can set yourself up for a lot of success. Trust me. This is only known to the highest of the highest of the highest. This is like Illuminati type stuff. So if you want to talk about Illuminati might be fake, but this stuff is real, but it's the same on the same parallel because why? People not sharing. This is like inside stuff that folks are not sharing with you. And you're not going to know to look for it because you don't even know what it is. So how would you even know to type that in because you don't even know what it is to even go look for it? And so why is it they have these programs where they're matching 2-to-1 funding to invest in small businesses, and no small business don't know about this. So let's go ahead. Let me zoom in and read up on it. Excess fund qualification generally provides up to $2 of government guaranteed debt for every dollar of private capital, up to a maximum of $150 million. Y'all see that? 150 million. Now, and it's again, this goes into the process of what it is. And you remember in the beginning, I told you it was 2 to 3 pages. Now look, average time of application. Anybody out here, okay, anybody out here applied for women-owned certificate, HubZone, 8A, DBE, MBE? Anybody out here applied for a certification program? HubZone, service disabled, anything? I want to see a show of hands. Thank you, AS. They got this, but they want to break J-Lo because they know that y'all want to be entertained and not educated. That's why they bring y'all J-Lo, because people like entertainment. They want a celebrity on here dancing and booty shaking, and instead of going out here and educating people while they go out here and get the bag. That's why y'all following me, because I'm telling you the facts. I'm presenting you with hard evidence and information. Anybody got a certification? How long did it take? Drop in the chat. How long did your certification take to get approved? How many people? 8A, HubZone, service disabled, women owned. How long did it take? How much paper was it? Somebody drop in the chat. MBE, Tommy Battle. How long did it take you to do that? How long did it take to get certified? How long did it take to get approved? Somebody tell me, how long did it take you? How many weeks? 2 weeks. Okay. All right. 2 weeks to get approved. Who else? HubZone. 8A. Anybody got disapproved for 8A? Anybody got disapproved for HubZone? Tell me. Who else? I want to hear anybody. A few weeks. Okay, a few weeks SDOV. All right, cool. Anybody heard any stories about being rejected for 8A? Not much and not long, I think a week or two. Okay. All right, cool. So these people who get up to a maximum of $150 million, right? Their cycle time for approval from submitting an application is 4 to 6 weeks. Y'all see that at the top? Anybody see that? 4 to 6 weeks for $150 million. 4 to 6 weeks for $150 million. And they got J-Lo? And they brought J-Lo? Come on, man. I'm sorry. Listen, that thing was steaming hot. This thing my boil was like boiling over my blood when I saw that the insult that I felt, the betrayal that all of these people, all of these companies, the ones that we look up to and we admire and we respect, no one is telling us that they're being funded on the backside by the government. No one telling all that, man. No one is telling you that. They're telling you that these people are smart and they're geniuses and they did it with their own stuff and they had their own money and their own investors, and it's all crap. These people are getting government money, they're getting SBA money, and ain't nobody telling you, and it's not being broadcast. And guess what? That's the fault of the people who actually administer this stuff, because they are the ones giving these programs out and they know about these programs and they're not telling people. And why is it P-tax and SBDCs, and why they're not telling all this stuff? Because they don't even know it. So I don't even blame them, because they don't know no better. So they don't make enough money to even learn this, because they shut off at night. They're not at home at 7 o'clock at night watching this stuff. So they don't know what to tell you. But the SBA knows this stuff because they're giving it out and they're improving these people in 4 to 6 weeks for 2-to-1 loans. Who don't want a 2-to-1 loan? I would love it. Okay, if I give you 100,000, you're gonna give me 3 or 200,000 on top of my 100? Who won't do that all day? If I give you $1 million, you'll give me 2 more million. I'm gonna have 3. No, we're not talking about SPACs. We're talking about SBIC. SBIC is what we're talking about, Tam. Here, let me go back to the top. We're talking about the SBIC program. No, not a SPAC. A SPAC is not government backed. This is government backed. This is a government program by the SBA. This is a U.S.-based small business administration program. Here's the call, SBIC program. It's on the SBA's website. Apply to be an SBIC, a licensed private equity fund manager. SBA will lend you low-cost government-backed capital to invest in small businesses. Let's go back to the slide. Program's been around. This is SPACs just started, Tam. They just started SPACs now. This program's been around since 1958. 1958. Look at the names on the list who all participated. Household names. Whole Foods. Whole Foods got bought out by Amazon by Jeff Bezos. Oh, J-Lo. No, J-Lo was on the, so J-Lo, Tam, she was on the, where is she at? I think I deleted it. She was on the National Small Business Week conference. And the reason why we're talking today is because I felt like it was such an insult to bring J-Lo on to speak at the National Small Business Conference when we have all of these entrepreneurs that need funding, they need capital, they want to know how to grow their businesses. And J-Lo is as the definition, even in their own biography, a multi-hyphenate, which is a person, especially a celebrity, with several professions or skills. And that does not resonate with the people that I know, that I talk to, that I teach. So I want to jump into people that I wanted to see, that I thought that the SBA missed out on an opportunity to feature on Small Business Week. Those are the people that I'm wanting to see, Tam, come on. And so what I decided to do is say, hey, these are the 10 business owners or company people that I would have liked to see featured on an SBA national event stage, because they're the ones that are actually utilizing the programs, utilizing SBA loans, getting SBA dollars, being funded by them in one form or another, and have built up these multi-billion-dollar businesses, but they're not telling us how to do these programs. So again, 28 people watching, make sure to give us a thumbs up on this, and let's jump into, this is actually a directory that all of us can use to find these SBIC organizations. Now, I went through and I pulled out my own list of companies that I want to talk to. And so naturally, going back to this slide presentation, for me, any of these companies on this list would have been a great fit, right? Does that make sense? Anybody who's on this list, Intel, FedEx, Pandora, Amgen, Staples, Whole Foods, Costco, Tesla, Apple, any of them would have been a great second runner-up for to come on and talk about how they leverage this particular program. I don't care about Apple. How did they leverage this particular program, and how did it help grow their businesses? That's who I want to talk to, and that's what I want to know. So any one of these would have been a great runner-up to Elon. And by the way, Tam, if you're just coming on, the first 3 people I thought we should discuss, if I were hosting a small business week, would be Peter Thiel from Palantir Technologies, the founder from Chobani Yogurt, and someone from Tesla or SpaceX, because they both were saved from the brink of bankruptcy because of U.S. government contracts. Yeah, Tam, that'd be, listen, So interesting enough, Tam, essentially creating a private equity fund and creating a hedge fund are great ideas, and I've also considered that. The issue is that the requirements to get into this program, you have to have two people that have 10 years of experience in order to do so. But don't worry, that's besides the point. We'll talk about that later. So let's get into some of the other folks that I would have liked to have seen that's on my list. And starting with, I like this multi-hyphenate thing on here. So this is the directory, Brookside Capital Partners. So Brookside Capital Partners, they come up actually on this list of the SBIC entities. So we've got here Brookside Capital Partners. If we go into the directory, we can look them up, but they're on this list and they're investing. And so Brookside Capital Partners, I would love to hear from them because they are receiving government funds. And these are the current companies and entities that they're investing in. And so I would love to find out, how do I or Tam or Xavier, how do one of us becomes one of their portfolio companies? What are they looking for? What's the criteria? And so they have manufacturing, distribution, healthcare. They've got logistics, marine supply, smart source, upsell. So for me personally, I would have loved to hear, how do I become one of the companies in order to be funded using this government program. So Brookside Capital Partners is another entity that I would have absolutely loved to hear from, because definitely for me, they're receiving these funds and I see entities in place. And I know that there's a lot of smart small businesses out here that are probably tackling some of these same industries. And so teaching us how that we can, even if we're not ready today, how do we ramp up our business? How do we scale up our business and grow it to be able to receive funding and investment from Brookside Capital Partners? Since they are receiving 2-to-1 government dollars, I think it'd be great if they told us what was the requirement in order to qualify. So Brookside Capital Partners is one of them. Dun, dun, dun. American Express venture team. How many people knew that American Express has a venture team? Probably not a lot of folks out here. Probably a lot of y'all have American Express like I do, cards, but American Express actually has a venture team, and it's right here. It's called American Express Ventures. In fact, I'll drop it in the chat. All right. So American Express Ventures actually receives SBA dollars. Now, American Express is another $1 billion company leveraging the SBA. They are trading, their stock is a portfolio. It's probably the NASDAQ, and they're Fortune 500 company, but they're still getting SBA dollars to help support the American Express Ventures. So I would have loved if I could talk to anyone on this list from American Express Ventures. Because why? They are also investing their capital and deploying it for small businesses. And here's their portfolio of companies that they're investing in. But again, saying that they actually are funded in part by the government, they're getting 2-to-1 dollars. Look, they funded Instacart, Melio. So I would love for someone to come on from American Express Ventures on the SBA Stripe Toast, right? And talk to us, Trulio, about how to small businesses in the future, how do we become part of this portfolio? What are they looking for? What's their criteria? Anybody else out there agree with me? Is there anybody else, like, am I just talking gibberish out here? Or does anybody else agree with me? Does this make sense? Like, do y'all like this? You don't like it? I see 32 people watching. Hit the thumbs up if you like the content. I mean, you tell me. Again, I don't want to keep going if you think this is boring stuff. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty stoked myself because, like I said, this is stuff that they don't teach you in school, and it's stuff that they still ain't teach you at conferences and events. So you're going to get it here. I'm going to put it down. And by the way, next week, we're going to talk about other entities that are receiving grant funding from the SBA that you can go after as well, because they've been funded with grants from the SBA, and they're supposed to be helping people that look like you and I. And I don't know who they're helping, but we're going to make sure that they're helping us, because we're going to show up and we're going to be in front of them, and then we're going to meet the criteria. So that way, right, they can't say we don't exist. So I want to help all of you out there be able to do that. So let's talk about this. American Express Ventures, that was on my list. Brookside Capital Partners. Hold on. Let's pull up my next man, Mclarty Capital Partners. Give us a thumbs up. 33 people watching. Give me a thumbs up. All right, let's go with Mclarty Capital Partners. They actually changed their name, and I read this the other day, to the Firmament Group. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. Okay, it's small. Thank you, Evelyn. Right? They should share the information. Why? If you are taking money from taxpayers to build your organization, to build your multi-billion-dollar business, you should be sharing with us what do we need to do to qualify, what's the criteria. Like, that's just, for me, that's facts. Like, if they're, what? Wow. So yes, they're large as hell. And you're like, how do they qualify to even get money from the government? Because they have this other program in the back door that no one is talking to us about. And so we don't know that they get money from the government because, again, they dangle like this other stuff in front of us while they're doing this other stuff behind their back. And that seems to be the common theme. And so for me, I'm always telling folks, like, I'm so unimpressed oftentimes by leadership because they're failing, in my opinion, to tell us about all the things that they have going on, right? Not just about the stuff they want us to know. Tell us about all the portfolio of things because they're insulting your intelligence. How do they not know if Tammy or AS or Evelyn or Gilbert is going to be the next Tesla, the next SpaceX, invent the next satellite, the next station? How do they not know that? So for me, while we're complaining about not having enough small businesses to support our industrial complex, not having the best technologies, we're also shooting ourselves in the foot because we're limiting the information to a select group of people that are already at the top of the food chain, and we're not giving it to the people that really have are on the beating edge of technology and inventions. Saturday night, I was at an event here in South Florida with one of my best friends, and we were talking about NFTs. So where do you think NFTs and that technology and how it's going to help transform the government's going to come from? It's not coming from none of the big guys. It's coming from a small guy, a little guy, someone who's a techie who knows about NFTs, but they're afraid to go to the government because they don't know that any of this stuff exists. And so they thinking they got to self-fund it, put their own money up, borrow money from friends, family, fools, go to their girlfriend, rob the piggy bank, go to Aunt Janine and get money when the government got all this money that they're giving away to people to do this stuff. So now that guy or girl is hesitant or reluctant because they got student loans. We know the student loan debt's in the trillions of dollars. They got student loans in their back. They're having to work at a job they don't like, and sit back on their invention when all this money is out here to explore, to be able to do that and build those things. And that's what I don't understand, why they're not telling us, because to me, they're working backwards and they're working in silos, keeping the information to a select group of people that only, they don't even interview with us because why? They're hiding behind their names and their brands and their New York offices and their Palo Alto offices. And really the innovators, the creators and stuff, we don't always make it up through to them because they're blocking us with some secretary or whoever. And now we are left to our own intuition, our own devices to try to figure out how to make our NFT invention work, our AI invention work. People have been doing AI since the 80s. So it's no different than cryptocurrency. The big banks did not invent cryptocurrency. They didn't invent fungible tokens. That don't come out of banks that got billions and trillions of dollars because they're not innovative. The innovation's coming out of small business. And that's what I'm showing you. And that's why I said that they missed the boat in their opportunity to really highlight and showcase entities that are funded by the government, funded by the SBA, programs that we know, taxpayer dollars. Taxpayer dollars. The SBA does not have money. They're funded by taxpayer dollars. Those people should be coming on here and telling us about these programs and how to work and how to qualify for them and how do we become the next Brookside capital investor. Let's get to the bag. So again, these are the people that I think that we should be interviewing, we should be talking to. Look at this company here, the Firmament Group. This is what you have to qualify to get investment: 10 million to 30 million, 300 million revenue, 3 million to 30 million EBITDA, 5 million to 30 million hold sizes. All right, so they're seeking investment in these kind of companies with these revenues. And so again, at least they put it on here. They're based in, look, Rockefeller Plaza, New York. They got offices in Miami, Nashville, Arkansas, California. All right. I want to hear from somebody here. Talk to me, Firmament Group. Come on our show and talk to us about how do we become a partner? How do we invent a technology? GPS Dental, Citrus, Profit Tools for Trucking, Logistics Technologies, Piston Rings, Global Bakeries, Wastewater Specialties, Rock Dental, Stat Health, Condata, Tech24. How do we become, right, affiliate with one of these guys? How do we work with one of these companies? Um, how do we become the next Profit Tools Trucking? How do we become the next LG Technologies? That's who I want to talk to. That's what I want to know about, right? And so those are the people that I want to hear from. Now, there's a couple more companies, and because again, I didn't want this to be all night thing. Make sure, by the way, hey, give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up, please, 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 please. 39 people watching. Give us a thumbs up. Again, I'm not teaching standard run-of-the-mill content like most people that you find on YouTube and on all these social platforms. I'm really trying to help people elevate their thinking, elevate their minds, elevate their because there's options out here, right? There's options for us. There's other things out here that we can do to grow our businesses, to build our businesses, and the more options that you know about, right? Because most of the people that watch my content come from the other side of the track, as y'all already know, and so we have limited options and we have limited knowledge. And so for me, my job here is to give you all the knowledge and all the information so then you can know all the options. Even if you can't do A through Z, you know A through Z exists. And when you are presented with a situation or a scenario or a company or entity or someone to partner with, you now have this in your arsenal, in your tool belt to be able to say, hey guys, you know what? I was watching this video by this crazy guy, Eric, and he talked about this program, SBIC. And you know what? They're actually investing in companies just like what we talked about. So and it's not fair that you're nervous about debt, JJ. That's not fair that you shouldn't be nervous about debt because they have programs like this. And yes, TAM, quantum computing is perfect. And so there are people, because when I was at University of Florida, and if you ever were in any of the college of engineering at any university across the world, you work with some of the most brilliant minds out there. And so now those people are probably working on quantum computing, but that entrepreneur doesn't know about this program because they are working on quantum computing solutions. And so they need their friends like Tam, like Quazir. They need their friends like Raheem and Philip to be able to tell them about these programs, to show them how they work, and then to be able to apply for companies to get the money to be able to build out their quantum computing solution. And that's the idea. And like my man Kenny said, 37 people, please hit the thumbs up button because I can't see who's hitting the thumbs up button out here. So I want people to have this information. I don't care if you don't do nothing with it. At least you know. And what they say about G.I. Joe, no one's half the battle. So look, you know now. When they say when you know better, you can do better. And I want to inform everyone out there because I want you to have this information. One of the other things I want to finish up with, there's a couple of companies I could go into SBIC, but there's another program out there that I really would like to see that they show us about, and it's entity right here, Florida First Capital Finance Corporation. Da, da, da. And Florida First Finance Capital Corporation, they use these. Someone mentioned real estate earlier. I heard you. Don't worry, I didn't forget you. This entity, Florida First Capital Finance Corporation, they are touting themselves as the America's #1 SBA 504 business lender. And so 504 business lender, let's look into that, what that is and what they're about. Here it is. Business who qualify for SBA 504 financing be eligible for multiple SBA second mortgages up to $5 million per 504. And this is green project, but again, it's also really financing for property, which includes equipment and buildings. And so let's go into it. The first mortgage 504 project, there's no maximum sizes. Qualified borrowers can, for project exceeding 20 million, can still obtain 90% financing. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. There's no limit on the amount of your first mortgage of a 504 project, and therefore no maximum project size. In many cases, qualified borrowers with projects exceeding $20 million can still obtain up to 90% financing. This entity, Florida First Capital Finance Corporation, is the number one lender, SBA 504 small business lender. Why are they not on the freaking National Summit Week talking to us about these programs? Why are they not on any of the conferences? I don't see their names on any conferences or any events. Does anybody, look, maybe you've heard about the program. I've heard about them. I don't know how to do them. How do I maximize them? How do I execute them? What do I have to do to qualify? That's what I want to know. Florida's first capital finance corporation. Talk to my people. Look at this. Okay, this is the green loan program. We don't want to talk about the green. We want to talk about the regular program. Look what they finance: commercial real estate, machinery and equipment, commercial debt. Let's go to commercial real estate. Here you are. Commercial real estate. Up to 90% financing. Let me make it bigger. Excuse me. Let me make it bigger. I want to make this big on the screen. I want you all to see this. Benefits of a 504 commercial real estate loan. SBA. By the way, this is an SBA program. SBA. Today, we're only talking about SBA programs, right? Remember, the beginning of this was we were discussing the SBA National Summit, and I want to talk about 10 business owners and companies, entities that I feel like we should have had in the summit that we missed the opportunity. But again, we can do better, right? We can do better. And that's why we're making this content, because the SBA has the power to bring these people on because they're being funded by the SBA. So they have that power. They have that ability. Let's talk about it. 504 commercial real estate loan, up to 90% financing at below market fixed interest rates. No future interest rate fluctuation. Oh my G. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me right now? They got something this good and they not telling y'all about it? Low down payment conserves valuable working capital. 10, 20, 25-year amortization terms available. Associated fees and soft costs can be financed in the loan, minimizing out-of-pocket costs. Loan amounts up to $5 million aggregate SBA eligibility on standard and public policy 504 projects, up to $500 million involving small manufacturers, no limit on total SBA dollars available, and up to $500 million per 504 energy efficient programs, not to exceed $16.5 million. Total projects, $125,000 to $20 million plus. I want everyone, please, 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 take notes, pay attention. This is going to spark their creative juices in your mind. When you go back today, write down 10 ideas of how you can maximize these programs. Write down 10 ideas, send them to me. I want to know. I want to have a reason to go talk to these people. Give me a reason to go talk to these folks, right? Bring me your idea. Bring me your nerdy friend, your introverted friend, your genius friend. Bring me his idea. Quantum, what did you say, Tim? Quantum computing, right? Let's figure out how to put this thing together, and let's take away their excuses. Let's take away excuses. I'm a big fan of taking away people's excuses. It's very easy for anyone to call BS, right? Because why? They say, oh, well, you didn't apply. You didn't ask for it. So, of course, I want these people. I want to bring them on our show. Eligible use of proceeds. Let's look at that. Let's make sure we want to be compliant, right? Hey, acquisition of land and construction of a new building. Acquisition of land in an existing building. Remodel, convert, expand, or renovate existing building. Leasehold improvements. Purchase of improvements, including grading, street improvements, utilities, parking lots, landscaping. Purchase of office furniture, fixtures, equipment. Associated fees and soft costs. And listen, they even lend you money to repay the points, fees, and interest. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Listen, does anybody else want to see Florida's first capital finance corporation appear at an SBA conference or SBA events? Does anybody else out there want to see them show up? Anybody else? If you're tired of being insulted by them teaching you about capability statements and about registering a SAM, if you're tired of being insulted with the foolishness, okay, and you want real information, real content that can change your life, change your future, change your trajectory permanently, indefinitely, then let me know. Show me. Tell me that's what you want. I want to know, because I think that the SBA is thinking that all you guys want to know is how do you get DBE certified? How do you get 8A certified? How do you get HubZone certified? Look, I don't care, because if they're going to give me a loan to go buy a building, if they're going to give me a loan to buy some land, if they're going to give me a loan to remodel my building, you wonder why and how that people got these buildings, right? You wonder why people got Class A office space. You thought they did on their own. You really thought that they parents as doctors, they parents as lawyers, they rich. Nah, these people got SBA money. They just didn't tell you. They just didn't tell you. And they're not telling you. They're hiding this information. They're hiding it. They keep getting me all smoke and mirrors with that. Hold on. You want to know the website? Which website you want to know? Talk to me. Which one you want to know, Xavier? And again, listen, I love the SBA. Okay. By the way, listen, let's go ahead. Let me show y'all something. Hold on. Let me show you something. I just want y'all to show, because that's what I do. So let me take my man Xavier off real quick. Hold on, Xavier. All right. So here, all right. Government Contracting Matchmaker, October 15th, 8 to 5. Elizabeth Warren is going to speak. But as you can see, also on the speakers list, holler at your boy, Eric Coffie, GovCon Giant. So again, I love the SBA. I support them. I'm actually speaking at their events. However, again, what we're talking about is I think they could have done a better job. They missed the boat. And so while they do a lot of great things, they got a lot of great programs, I think that what's happening is they are, they're really, it's like, you know how when you were in school and your teacher, you were like some of y'all or some of us were like the smart kids, and we're like, look, you don't have to talk down to me because I already know, right? Like I know this stuff. Like, so I think that a lot of times they believe, or they're under the impression that we don't need this information. And that's not true. Like we want all the information. We want everything. I want that and this, right? So, you know, I think a lot of times the SBA is thinking that like maybe you're not ready for this information. Maybe like you're not at that stage where you need to know about this kind of stuff. But I disagree with them, right? I really strongly and believe that, again, like Jerome said, okay, if a man wants to put up buy land in North Carolina State and house military equipment, right? That would have been a great thing to do. So we could have helped combat this pandemic, right? When we were short on supplies and PPE, right? That would have been perfect if they had gave my man Jerome some money to buy land in North Carolina, because I'm sure he bought it in a place where it was affordable, made sense. And then he could have then turned around and then helped the government store that equipment. So we're going to have people like him thinking about creative and innovative ways. And not only that, we have a lot of people on here that are ex-military. So you already know, really as an ex-military person, you know kind of what the government's doing, what they're working on, and also how to maneuver. And so who better than you to be able to say, look, I think this makes sense, because when I was in Fort Bragg, when I was in Camp Meade, we had a shortage of this, we had a shortage of that. We had our unit needed these items, and we never had these items. And guess what? Boeing and all them clowns ain't giving it to you. So to me, I would rather, and like they said, talk to the lower level people and find out, okay, you were in the military, you served this branch of government. What were the deficiencies? What were the areas where we could improve as government personnel? Give you the money and let you take and develop out that capacity to support the troops, to support the mission. That's what I'm about. And I think that that's what a lot of people are about. They just don't know how to do it. So again, I want to put this in the hands of my people because I want my people to come back to me and come back and say, hey, look, Eric, this is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm doing. So let's, like my man Raheem said, let's bring it to fruition. Xavier says Jerome was right. There's a source of sought for military personnel vehicles in Camp Lejeune right now. Absolutely, guys. This is out here. And we have the capabilities of being able to not only monetize these things, but take it and materialize ideas, concepts, businesses that can support the government, support the troops, support the mission, and have the government finance us. And all we have to do is execute, deliver, perform. And that's why I said that they missed out on a great opportunity to really highlight and showcase these things, because these are they're incredible programs that are really not being showcased, highlighted, and to me, enough. And here's another one, Huntington National Bank, and this will be the last one we're going to wrap up today. Huntington National Bank, they actually hold on, let me pull it up. They're the last on my list. Oh, hold on, there it was. Here it is. Huntington National Bank, the #1 SBA lender. So again, Huntington National Bank, they got it right. They're at Huntington. We believe when small business succeed, we all win. That's why we've been #1 SBA lender in our region for the past 12 years. So again, listen, SBA National Sales Director Paula Cook, bring Paula on here. Tony, bring them on here and let's talk to them about Huntington National Bank and why it works and how we, the little guys, can benefit from leveraging Huntington National Bank. So many people out here, we're suffering from predatory lending. I've been a victim of predatory lending before. We're suffering from people who are attempting to give us high interest rate loans. People are attempting to give us bad mortgages. So all these things that small businesses are suffering from, these are the things that the SBA has programs in place to combat those items, but they're not putting enough emphasis, they're not sharing it enough, in my opinion, in my book, when they have like a national stage and a national platform. I don't think there should be an SBA conference that goes by where they don't talk about money, finance, and lending, because they're doing it for the big guys. And if you're just coming on and you missed what we talked about, we start off with this program. It's called SBIC Program, and it is the largest fund-of-fund programs in the United States, investing up to $4 billion annually. And the whole thing is backed by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and they continue since 1958. They've deployed more than $67 billion in capital, and including the largest companies in the world, Intel, Apple, you name it, they've got government funds. And so for me, I want to know, how do we as small business get to the bag? Questions, comments? We're gonna wrap up here in a couple minutes. That's basically the gist of what I talked about today. And so for me, I just really want to see how they can increase the opportunities for all of us out here. And that's my job, and that's what I want to know. So listen, let's talk. Anybody else? All right, North Carolina native here. David Howard says. Raheem says, hell yeah. That's right. Let's make it happen. Absolutely. Anything that I missed, anything that I covered, anything that we need to go over before we sign out today. Congratulations. Thank you, Gilbert. I appreciate it. Thank you, RB. Appreciate it. No problem. Anything else? Any questions before we sign off today? Again, I just wanted to share that because it really bothered me, and it does. I really took offense because I just felt like they actually insulted everyone's intelligence. By the way, we're having Thursday transportation trucking people. We're going live Thursday I'm bringing on some transportation students who've been crushing it. So that is this Thursday coming up. This Thursday. I'm going to drop the link right now. All right. We're talking about where are all the transportation contracts. That's this Thursday coming up. Make sure to join us this Thursday, same time. We're going live with some of my students. We're going to pick some of my students that do transportation and logistics contracts. So make sure to share it with your friends. Make sure to give me a thumbs up. As you know, the social media guys, they only work and they spread content they feel people want to see. Even though we've got great information, sometimes if you don't say you like it and you don't click the button, then they're not going to spread it because they think it's terrible information. So I could be doing all of this in vain, which I hope not, because I do appreciate even the 38 or 40 people that were on tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. So again, I definitely want to continue sharing. My man Raheem says they're active suppressing information. They want you to know on social media. Waste your life being sheep leader to slaughter instead of creating multi-generational wealth. Raheem, I could not agree. I think they are actively suppressing information because it's really a shame. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't even matter which administration it is. It doesn't matter who's in office, who's in power. Everyone has an opportunity to make this right. And everyone has an opportunity. These programs didn't just happen yesterday. They weren't created yesterday. They were created, and the people who they wanted to benefit from them have been benefiting from them, have been recipients of them. And unfortunately, as more and more of the people that they don't want to have this information starts to have it, they're going to have to figure out ways to change and restructure these programs, because I'm going to continue sharing and spreading it and figuring out what do we need to do to qualify, because I do believe that once we learn what we need to do to qualify, we can start becoming eligible to qualify ourselves for these exact same programs. And I don't know any of you out here. I don't know anybody out here that's listening to me who cannot figure out, right, projects 125,000 to 20 million. I don't know anyone out here who can't use 125,000 to 20 million dollars. If there's somebody out here who don't need that money, please stand up and raise your hand. I will make sure to put you on front page right now, because you can't use an extra 125,000 to 20 million dollars loan to fund a real estate transaction. Come on, man. Come on. Don't do it. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You can't use that money, man. Come on. Don't tell me you can't use that. All right, John, contact Crowley from one of your older videos. Good job, John. Actually, one of our students, Brian's his name, he picked up some lanes with Crowley. So I know Crowley definitely will entertain the idea. So, but he actually, one of our students he watched that same video with Crowley and picked up some contracts from them. But who can't use a $20 million loan? Who can't use a $10 million loan? Who doesn't know a building, a piece of land that they can't buy right now if they had $10 million and make a sound investment? Who doesn't know that, right? Look, no matter what state you're in, city you're in, there's buildings, investments around you, land, apartments, and stuff that you can buy that makes sense, that you could use that money to finance. And including, hold on, let me go back to this. Look, not only do they give you the money for your down payment, not only do they give you money, favorable loans, they give you the fees and the soft costs. So you don't even have to finance the fees and the soft costs. That's throwing into your loan on top of it. And then, look, you can even if you screwed up and you messed up the money, they'll give you another loan to cover what? Look what it says. Hold on. Associate fees, repayment of points, fees, and interest. So they are making this super easy for people, even when they're not the smartest and the brightest tool in the shed. They're still allowing people to go back in and get more loans to keep this going until the thing turns around and it makes sense. So they're allowing you to basically invest the money, hold the money until the market basically readjusts itself, and then you can turn around and sell it for a profit and then pay back the government, and it's a win-win, and you look like a genius. And the whole time, the SBA financed the damn thing. I'm sorry. Look, if it's this easy, I want my people to know about it. If it's 2 or 3 pages, I want my folks to know about it. That's what I want people to know. So, hey, listen, guys, thank you so much. Make sure, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend, family, or fool, look, just share the content because as you know, all the things that I've been doing, the benefits I've been receiving, the blessings, all of the things I can truly accredit that for my network and growing my network, and which is and tremendously growing my net worth. So again, if you sit back and you hold the information and you don't share it with somebody, you don't know, people are asking for future partners and investors. Well, send them this video, send them this link, send them this information, and that person may eventually want to become an investor with you or partner because why? You are showing them the information. They may not have the time to go learn and figure out how to do it, but they may have the actual ability to execute, deliver, and perform, but they want you to go out and actually bring the information to them. So listen, be a blessing to someone else, share with them this information and content because you don't know who actually is one person away or connected to someone who can actually benefit from this. And when you share that information, now you're looking like the smart guy in the group who actually is doing the research and taking the time. And by the way, you are spending your Monday night learning this, right? So you are investing your time and energy into it. So again, go back and get the rewards from it. Don't let this be a wasted opportunity. Don't let this be a wasted video. Don't let this sit back and you not have a bunch of ideas. I think the best thing that I have, someone said to me, hold on, I'm going to go back to her comment. Let me pull it back up on the screen. Where is it at? My man Gilbert says, where's the catch? Gilbert said, where's the catch? There ain't no catch, Gilbert. Hold on. Where is it at? Raheem says, at least we could put some things together. I've got 125 pages of ideas. I can't find it. Where's that comment? Oh, okay. Here it is. AS, I got to reconsider what I'm really doing in my life right now. And I think that goes for all of us. I think that's very well said comment because what's happening is because we don't know this stuff exists, how can you know what's all possible, right? You all come from different backgrounds, walks of life, experiences, family members. I interviewed one of my podcast guests today who said that her family was one of the first Black millionaires in New York, right? And then they went on to lose it, and she didn't grow up that way, but she went on to build her business, successful business. And one of the things that she said to me, and this is this is like, I'm going to go to my other screen to pull it up. It was fascinating. She said to me today, she said, Eric, she said, I actually learned about government contracting. She learned about government contracting by asking people in her neighborhood what they did. And so she said she saw people that had that, success look on them. The people had that successful look, right? Success, they have that look about themselves, right? So she said she was asking people who had that successful look on them, what is it that they did? And they said government contracting. And so she said to herself, I got to figure out this government contracting thing. And so fast forward, right? Today, I asked her in my podcast, I said, so now do you have that successful look about you? And so she started laughing. And yeah, if anybody's curious, this is the company that we actually interviewed. We're going to be coming out with her podcast soon enough. They're called Kusi, and they actually do training. They do a whole bunch of training. They've got 200 plus courses that they teach, but they service government agencies, primarily federal agencies, training global leaders around the world. And so they are a wonderful company doing great work, helping support our government. They do different types of training about cultural diversity and things like that, leadership skills for government C-suite employees. So great company. But she was on our podcast today that we interviewed. And it's fascinating. But all this stuff is fascinating to me. And I love learning about it. And there's some other things that really I learned about. In fact, do I have the book behind me? Hold on. Yes, I do. All right. If you're curious, this book, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? How Reginald Lewis Created a $1 billion business empire. So Reginald Lewis is one of the first people to create a $1 billion business, a Black African-American man. And so what's interesting about this book that I learned, right? right in line with these programs about the SBA. He was an attorney that the SBA created a program to partner with minority businesses, and he was an attorney that actually was helping minority businesses partner with large corporations because of an SBA program. In this book, it's a long read. He then learned about these programs and how to buy businesses because he was consulting small guys on partnering with large organizations. He then leveraged his knowledge of buying companies that he learned by doing the SBA programs to then start buying businesses, and he built a $1 billion empire. Same thing. What do they say? If you want to hide the information, hide it in the book. These sites that I gave you today, I didn't make them up. They're all publicly available on the SBA website. I've referenced SBA websites. But if you don't know what you're looking for, and that's what I talk about in my books, right? So one of the first things that I say in my book, right here, is this is a small read, simple book. That's why it's like $10. But the first thing that I say in the book, right, is if you don't know where to go look for and what to Google, it's no good to you. And I really believe that, because how would you know to Google these programs, right? How would you know to Google these programs? I'll put this book back up. Why should white guys have all the fun? How would you know to Google these programs if you didn't know they existed? Who's going to tell you that? Right? Who's going to tell you that? So this book actually takes a look into some of the original programs, and it's funny because they talk about the different magazines and some of the other people that started some of the large Black organizations. They were actually founded because of the SBA programs and government programs, that where they had to, the white corporations had to partner with minority businesses in order to get funding to build their businesses. So they partnered with us because they were forced to. So I kind of want to share that with folks out there, because this is the information that I plan to continue sharing with people. And I hope that it's of benefit to some folks. And I hope that you also share it as well. So thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it. Again, SBICs. And we hope that at some point that some of this content that we're sharing and information will make an impact and a difference. We actually have more than 24 students that have done over $1 million in sales through our courses, GovCon 1.0 and 2.0 courses. Over 24 students that did $1 million in sales. And so we're going to be featuring some of our students this upcoming month, given the fact that it's our last month for our course, 2.0 course. So we're going to be featuring some of our students and sharing with you their stories, their experiences, because again, I want to get the information in as many hands as possible so that many people that have the ability or who have the foresight and have that kind of twisted mind, like Steve Jobs talks about, right? We want the crazies. We want the crazies. We want the C students that didn't like formal school and formal education, who have a creative mind and creative abilities. I want those people, and I want to encourage them to fulfill their dreams and to make this stuff a reality. And the fact that I know about all these programs that they exist is even another notch that I want to add to your belt, because why? You don't have to struggle to make your idea become a reality. You don't have to go through and like they said, you don't have to get venture capital funding. You don't have to get it. This is funding is coming from the government, right? This is being supported by the government. So this should be low cost, cheap funding. And if you screw up, you get a pass. You don't get to go to jail because you screwed up and trying to build the next, SpaceX, the next rocket ship. You get a free pass. One of the first companies that I ever raised money for was a software development company. And guess what? I raised $300,000 for that business. It didn't work out. And you know what the guys told me, the investors? Come back to us with another idea. That's the way it's supposed to be, because that's what we're actually looking to do with this government space. That's my brother called me. Hold on. Hey.
You got that car, that son?
I got the car. I'm on YouTube Live. So say hi.
Oh, hey, how you guys doing today? What's going on?
All right. Yep. Yeah, I got the card you sent me, brother. All right.
All right. Much love.
All right. Be easy. So that's the way it's supposed to be. And I think that, again, putting this into the hands of the people who can do something with this information is super important. And I want that for you guys. And I want you to do it. I don't want you to hold this information to yourself. Share it, share it, share it, share it, share it, because someone's going to come along the line and say, hey, Whit, listen, I know what to do. I got someone. I got a friend of mine, a buddy of mine. He made this invention, and I think we can use some of these programs to help. Again, if you've got something that you're working on, you want to share with me that's related to this topic, send me an email, eric@govcongiants.com. Otherwise, have a wonderful night, and I'll see you on Thursday.